Okay, today we have a different product here in my, I don't want to call it neither review or first impression, because somewhat it is review, but because I would say I would kind of consider myself a techie, but not necessarily to a degree where I would be very comfortable to give you a proper review about a screwdriver. So for me, as you know, visiting this channel, I'm a bag reviewer, but I also review tech, sometimes everyday carry on my other channel, gaming devices like this Anbonic, for example, but I wouldn't really consider myself like a tech reviewer that would review screwdrivers. I am a professional film editor. I've built computers when I was younger. Actually, I was very fortunate that my dad was always of the belief when I was younger and I said, oh, I would like to have a computer. He was like, nope, you're not getting a computer. We're going to buy a bunch of computer parts and then you're going to learn how to build a computer. So I was really fortunate that my dad was of that mindset. He didn't want to give me just a computer, but we sat down, we built a PC. It was back then, I'm over 40, so it was a 286. Not sure what that processor was. I think it was an Intel, so very old. It was MS-DOS. He also taught me a lot about MS-DOS and stuff like that. So I was fortunate enough to learn that stuff. So that's kind of my background. Yet nowadays, I don't kind of tinker around with tech to the capacity that I'm building a laptop. But I am obviously an adult, and here at home I need to kind of fix stuff, and for that I do need a screwdriver from time to time, but I also sometimes kind of dabble with repairing tech items, which is the reason why I actually own a couple of precision screwdrivers. So before going into this, I kind of wanted to give you my perspective where I'm coming from, and I kind of want to give you my what happened to the camera? Nothing. What my perspectives are coming from that background. So I probably am not the best person to review this product, but yeah, take everything that I'm saying with a little bit grain of salt. And yeah, that's why I don't really want to call it a proper review, but more of my personal experience with this product. Or basically with two of these. So before going into this, with that out of the way, I want to show you what I usually have been using to repair tech items. For example, I sometimes exchange hard drives. I actually tried to repair my Anbonic RG35XX H, which actually broke, and I took it apart. I needed precision screwdrivers, and for that I have two different sets. So this is actually one that I really enjoy. This is a precision screwdriver, electronic screwdriver set. As you can see here from Hoto, you have this screwdriver which is actually power driven. It has a light and it is power driven. It's not powerful to kind of fix screws into a wall, but this is perfect for those tech kind of repairs. As you can see here, you have kind of like iFixit tools to pry open displays or something that is glued down, and it has these really cool high quality bits, really neatly organized. Plus you have like a magnetic mat here to keep screws in place. Before I bought this one, the one from Hoto, I had this very cheap one that I really like to utilize when I'm not using the power, in air quotes, power, because it's not that strong. Again, it's good for these kind of electrical repairs, but sometimes I need to be, in air quotes, a little bit precise in terms of my fingers feeling what I'm doing, and then also kind of knowing how much power I can kind of transfer onto the screws. For that, kind of the regular screwdrivers are something that I personally prefer a little bit. Sometimes you want to tighten it a little bit tighter or a little bit looser. So it's good to kind of feel with your hands what you're doing. So for that, I always use this. This is a non-branded one that I actually got from Amazon, and it came with all of these smaller bits. I forgot the dimension, but these are basically the, in air quotes, I don't know if that's the right terminology, but these precision smaller type bits. And as you can see here, I have a bunch of them for any type of situation where I kind of need to repair something. Also, sometimes I dabble with taking apart my keyboard, and for that, having a precision screwdriver obviously comes in clutch, so to say. So now entering these two screwdrivers. This is the Linus Tech Tip screwdriver that comes with, when you order it, it actually comes here with a couple of bits that come in this rotating bit holder, which I think is amazing. Works really well, and having the bits inside here is really cool. Then you have this ratcheting mechanism where you can actually switch it and either to tighten or switch it around again to loosen. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, or put it in the middle position and then it basically locks. So this is actually really cool because if you hold it in your hands like so, you can use your thumb and your index to switch this around in whatever direction you want it to go. So kind of sticking to the positives, I really like that you have this storage for your bits, magnetic here, and then you can just work. This, again, for me, this is a tool that I like to have here at home when, I don't know, there is a drawer that is kind of loose that I want to tighten, or if there is, I don't know, something at the door, one of the hinges is loose, or the flat one, where's the flat one? The flat one, I'm not sure if you are familiar. Here in Germany, we have radiators that sometimes, especially going into winter, when you haven't used it much, you kind of need to let some air out. And for that, you need a flat screwdriver with some of the radiators. And then I utilize that. So this is basically my tool for home that I keep in the kitchen drawer, which is basically the reason why this is pretty much in pristine condition, because this is not in my workshop. This is not for me, at least how I utilize it. This is not in my toolkit that I have in the garage, where I maybe need it for, I don't know, my motorcycle, or in the garden where I kind of work on garden things. That is why this is basically in really good condition and has not been scuffed up yet. And for me, because the bits are in this kind of storage, that is the reason why this tool is inside the drawer, either here in my regular office or in the kitchen. This is just for those quick things that I want to deal with in a fast-paced moment without having to go to the garage, getting my toolkit and working with every single tool that is in that toolbox. And that toolbox is so big, I don't want to keep it inside the house. So this is perfect to have inside your drawer, because everything is handy and stored quite neatly in this storage. So now, what are the negative things? Personally, while I think this handle feels, as you can see here, very ergonomic shaped and fits very well in my hand, honestly, I kind of would have loved that this plastic either would not feel and look as plastically as it does. Again, this has been in my kitchen drawer, and therefore it has not kind of had the opportunity to kind of get scuffed or anything. But I feel like I assume that if this would be in my garage, in my toolbox with all of the other metal tools, I assume that this would get scuffed up. But again, this is an assumption. But what I don't really like is that it has somewhat this plasticky feel and look to it. I would have loved a little bit something, let's say a little bit more high quality in the way it feels and looks. But more importantly, I would have liked if this would be rubberized. So if I had sweaty hands, and again, I keep this in my kitchen. So sometimes I have like wet hands or whatever, because I actually recently had a situation where my dishwasher, the hinge mechanism was a little bit tight, and I wanted to kind of open up a little bit of some of the screws and put some oil in there. And then I obviously had a little bit of wet hands. And I would have wished that this would be a little bit rubberized to give me some form of grippiness to it. Again, it's shaped very well in terms of ergonomically friendly, but I feel this is a little bit too smooth and a little bit too plasticky feeling. Speaking of plastic, these bit hold retention arms are made out of plastic, and to be fair, I think that they have to be plastic so that you can kind of push in your bits like so and get them out easily. I wonder how well these hands, these holding hands, will hold up over a longer period of time, especially if you utilize this tool in a, let's say, rougher area. If you have this for handiwork, like putting up shelves or working on your car or anything like that, I wonder how much these will take abuse over a long time, and if these small little hands that hold the bits will kind of break off. I'm not sure about that. This is again some speculation, so I really wonder what happens if these break off, and I don't see a way to actually be able to easily replace this. But again, I think this feature is amazing. Overall, this is a plastic holder. Again, if you are a little bit rougher, I do wonder if this would hold up abuse over long periods of time. But I do really like this mechanism, this magnetic holder, to keep this storage in the handle. This is really cool. But again, this is something that I'm not really sure about. Then you have here, I hope you can see it, some markings of what kind of bits these are. While I do appreciate these markings are actually bigger than on my bits of my Ryobi power tool, it's still a little bit difficult to read the etchings on black. I know this is, I have not seen any bits where they actually do this, but I kind of wish they would do this. And now that I think of it, maybe I can do it myself. I kind of wish that there would be color in these etchings, and I kind of think maybe I should use some nail polish, some red nail polish, put this over, wipe it off, and then hope that some red nail polish would stick to the innards. Obviously, those would get rubbed off after a while, but I think for the beginning, this could actually be pretty nice. So on one hand, you have LTT, and on the other hand, you can hopefully see what kind of bit this is. This is it says SQ, so I assume this is square. In Germany, I've never seen square bits, to be honest. Not sure what kind of thing needs that. So you have flat, square, apparently, Phillips, a magnet, and this is probably a hex tool. Yeah, this is hex. So yeah, again, for me personally, as a tool to keep around at home, not in your workshop, but at home, meaning in the kitchen drawer, in a living room drawer, for those quick fixes, this is amazing. In rougher areas, I don't know. I assume that this plastic could get scuffed up quite a bit. But I think in terms of features and usability, this is great. Going to the next one. This is the Precision Screwdriver. And I actually was looking more for this one because as you can see with this one, I really want to exchange this. This is good, but this is somewhat cheap and not that great. Plus, I kind of like the small form factor that I could keep inside my everyday carry. This is something that I would really like to have in my backpack. What I kind of missed when I was ordering this, I missed that the bits are not included. So when you order this, keep in mind you only order the Precision Screwdriver, not the bits. You need to order them as well. But this one has a storage area as well for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bits. I have not decided yet. These bits will fit in there, but as you can see, I have a lot. I don't know really which bits I kind of want to store in here, which I usually need the most. Probably a small Phillips, a small flathead, hexagon, and a torque. Those are probably the ones that I want to have in here, but I don't know which sizes. So for that is kind of a missed thing. That was purely my own fault. I should have read that, but as you can see, I have plenty of bit storage, bits here that I can put inside. And what I really like about this is fully metal. There is this cap compared to this one. So this is obviously metal, but everything is plastic. This is all aluminum, and the cap has a fidget spinner, and this actually keeps going for such a long time. I think this is a really cool thing to kind of play around with, fidget with. And here inside, this is, if I'm not completely, no, this is also plastic. Although this could be metal, but the holders are plastic. So let's just put something in here so you can see it. Again, these are not Linus Tech Tip bits, so put them in here, bam, and then it looks like so. Getting this out, put that in here. And obviously, this doesn't have the ratchet mechanism, but for this type of tool, I don't need it. This is, again, great for keeping in your everyday carry, inside your backpack, not in your pants pocket, and use it whenever you might need to work on something. For example, I sometimes need to tighten something on maybe a watch or a knife. For that, this is really cool and great to keep around and have with you all of the time. I really like this. But again, keep in mind, these do not come with bits. You need to order them separately, or maybe you already have some like I do. I really need to decide which set I want to keep there. So yeah, I really like this. I don't have any complaints about this. And I will kind of fill it out with some bits. As you can see, I have not decided which ones yet, and I haven't used this as much, or to be fair, I haven't used this at all because I didn't need to kind of repair anything technical, and that is why there is no bits inside, but this one I have already used here at home, and for that I think this is amazing. Again, to summarize, really cool tool, really good system, ergonomic feel in the hand, but the handle is a little bit too plasticky feeling in my humble opinion, and I would have loved a grippy rubbery surface here so it wouldn't slip out of your hands. This is all plastic, and I kind of wish that these, I don't know, maybe not wish, but I wonder how much these will hold up over time in a rougher area. Again, only use this at home. This one, I really like this one. I'm looking forward to have this in my extended EDC. Didn't have any use for it at the moment, but I feel like this will come in handy quite a lot. And this fidget tool, this spinner, is amazing. So yeah, that has been my review about these two Linus Tech Tip screwdrivers. So what are your opinion about these screwdrivers? And if you have this bigger one, let me know what has been your experience with these kind of grippy things. Will they break off? And how about the handle? Does it scuff up? And more importantly, any recommendations? What are your most used bits for this smaller precision screwdrivers? Which one should I put inside? Yeah, let me know in the comment section below. And if you have any questions, also comment below. I know this hasn't been a bag review, but maybe check out this bag review up here. YouTube thinks they like the video down here. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. And if you watch to the end, maybe post a comment that says screw thingy in the description below. That way I know you watched until the end. Thank you very much.